This video program spotlights the new 1993 Supra Turbo and its key competitors. The new Supra Turbo will play a vital role as Toyota's image leader, as the showcase for Toyota's most advanced technology, and as a magnet for building showroom traffic and increasing the sales volume of all Toyota sporty cars. The 93 Supra Turbo is one car that really lives up to the word new. Toyota's built a whole different Supra from the ground up. The only thing the same is the name.
I would say the main thing I like about it is that the damn thing just goes like hell.
This car is, it's unique that it will stand out when it comes down the street. It will definitely turn heads.
It's definitely not your old Supra. The Supra's aggressive new styling is classic. Under its skin, the Supra reflects the no-nonsense approach of Toyota's engineers. Unnecessary high-tech gimmicks have been avoided to minimize weight and maximize performance. The result? A new Supra that's ready to run with the big boys, including some exotic and far pricier sports cars. Car and Driver magazine tested the new Supra Turbo in head-to-head competition against some of the top sports performance cars on the road today, including the Dodge Stealth RT Turbo, the Mazda RX-7 Twin Turbo, the Nissan 300ZX Turbo, the Chevy Corvette ZR1, the Ferrari F40 and 348 TS, and Porsche's 911 and 968. The Supra Turbo's sophisticated powertrain generates world-class performance and handling, which puts it at the top of this highly competitive class, including the world's leading sports cars. First, let's see how the 93 Supra Turbo stacks up against the 93 Dodge Stealth RT Turbo. Dodge introduced the Stealth in 1991. It's virtually identical to the Mitsubishi 3000 GT. 1992 sales of the Stealth were slightly down from 91, with 3000 GT sales about the same as the previous year. From a mechanical standpoint, the Stealth and the Supra Turbo are at opposite ends of the spectrum.
The Dodge Stealth RT Twin Turbo takes a little different philosophy in its approach to ultra-high performance.
The Supra Turbo's engine has twin sequential turbos, while the Stealth has twin turbo only. The Supra Turbo has 20 more horsepower, 8 foot-pounds more torque, and a better power-to-weight ratio as well.
It uses a lot of gadgetry, gimmickry, electronic tricks to get the job done. It is heavier as a result. There's a lot of extra weight that affords it to carry all those electronic tricks and gadgetry. Contrasted is the new Supra Turbo, which uses more of a purist approach, trying to emphasize lightness and high horsepower to weight ratio.
There becomes a time where no matter how much technology you have, you can't overwhelm that much weight. It shows up especially in braking, and it also shows up in tire wear. If you look at these tires on the Stealth after the end of the day, you'll see what I mean, that the tires will be worn out.
The Supra Turbo's standard transmission is 6-speed compared to the 5-speed Stealth, and the Supra Turbo's optional automatic transmission is 4 ECT with intelligence versus 4 ECT only for the Stealth. Traction control and torque sensing limited slip differential are both standard on the Supra Turbo. The Stealth doesn't have either one. The Supra Turbo's braking system has front spiral and rear straight ventilated discs. The Stealth has only straight. Supra Turbo's ABS system incorporates a lateral G sensor, a feature lacking on the Stealth. In a safety comparison, the Supra Turbo's dual airbags are standard, while the Stealth has only a driver's side airbag. The Supra outperformed the Stealth in car and driver's tests, beating the Stealth in the 0 to 60 test, the quarter-mile test, and the skid pad test. Next, let's compare the Supra Turbo to the Mazda RX-7 Turbo. The RX-7 is Mazda's high-performance flagship. It reflects their latest technology and styling efforts. This version is all new for 93. 1992 sales were slightly down from 91, with a bigger drop from 90 to 91. The Supra Turbo's engine generates 65 more horsepower than the RX-7's and almost 100 foot-pounds more torque. The Supra Turbo's standard transmission is 6-speed versus the RX-7's 5-speed. And the Supra Turbo's optional automatic transmission is 4 ECT with intelligence, while the RX-7's is only 4 ECT. Traction control is standard on the Supra Turbo, but not on the RX-7. The RX-7 also lacks the Supra Turbo's lateral G sensor on its ABS system. The Supra Turbo's dual airbags offer a greater margin of safety than the RX-7's driver's side only. In a comparison of interiors, the Supra Turbo wins hands down. It's a 2+2-seater versus the RX-7's 2-seater. It has a power driver's seat with seat height adjuster, plus a tilt steering wheel, both features lacking in the RX-7. And the Supra's interior is roomier than the RX-7's.
One of the great things about the new Supra is the ease of entry and exit. At 6'4", you saw how easily I got in. There's plenty of seat travel also for the longest of legs.
Well, with all the adjustments on the seat, you're able to custom fit the car to yourself. I mean, different length legs, different arms, different body heights. So it's a great fitting car. You're very comfortable in, lots of room. I'm really impressed.
In car and driver's tests, the Supra Turbo edged out the RX-7 in both the 0 to 60 and quarter mile. Next up, the Supra Turbo versus the Nissan 300ZX Turbo. The 300ZX is the 4th generation Z car. It debuted in 1990 and is Nissan's performance flagship. 1992 sales were off quite a bit from the previous 2 years. In a comparison of engines, the Supra Turbo's twin sequential turbo beats the 300ZX's twin turbo. The Supra Turbo's engine puts out 20 more horsepower than the ZX's, plus over 30 foot-pounds more torque. And the Supra also wins the power-to-weight ratio comparison. The Supra Turbo's 6-speed manual and 4 ECTI automatic transmissions are superior to the ZX's 5-speed manual and 4 ECT automatic. The 300ZX lacks the Supra Turbo's traction control system, and its ABS system doesn't have the Supra Turbo's lateral G sensor. The 300ZX's driver's side airbag doesn't compare to the Supra Turbo's dual airbags. In a comparison of interiors, the Supra Turbo's 2+2 seating and tilt steering wheel give it the nod over the 300ZX.
Particularly as a tall person, I prefer having tilt, and the new Supra has a tilt that moves by 3-4 inches. Thus, it is easier to get the perfect driving position in the Supra.
Car and drivers' performance figures bear out the Supra Turbo's superiority to the 300ZX in their 0 to 60 test, their quarter mile test, and their skid pad test. What's more, the Supra Turbo's braking performance is also superior to the ZX's. Now, let's look at how the Supra Turbo measures up to the Chevy Corvette LT1. The Corvette is celebrating its 40th anniversary. Today's fiberglass-bodied Corvette has been around since 1984. Corvette sales have remained relatively steady over the last 3 years. The Supra Turbo's twin sequential turbocharged intercooled dual overhead cam engine is more sophisticated than the LT1's pushrod overhead valve version. One result is a 20 horsepower advantage for the Supra Turbo, along with a better power-to-weight ratio. The Supra's optional 4 ECTI automatic transmission has the edge over the LT1's 4 ECT. The LT1's braking system doesn't have the Supra Turbo's G sensor. Supra Turbo buyers get longer powertrain warranty coverage, 5 years or 60,000 miles versus 3 years or 36,000 miles for the LT1. The Supra Turbo also wins the safety comparison with its dual airbags versus the LT1's driver's side only. The LT1 is a 2-seater in contrast to the Supra Turbo's 2+2. And the Supra Turbo provides more head and leg room.
Getting in and out of a Corvette is not an easy assignment, particularly if you're tall. Ease of entry and exit is one of its weaknesses. Also, the interior has some basic and fundamental ergonomic problems. A particular problem is the instrument panel and gauges. The oil pressure, oil temperature, engine temperature, voltmeter gauges all have the needles at different positions for normal, thus at a glance it's almost impossible to read them. Also, the speedometer and fuel gauge, especially in bright sunlight, being a digital model, is virtually impossible to read.
This in contrast to the Supra Turbo's sleek, functional ergonomics.
The interior reminds me a whole lot of the interior of a jet fighter, single-seat jet fighter, because all of the controls are angled towards the driver.
The Supra Turbo beats the LT1 in the 0 to 60 and quarter-mile tests. And the Supra Turbo has a tighter turning diameter. Not only does the Supra Turbo beat the LT1, it also outperforms the Corvette ZR1.
The ZR1, interestingly, provides outstanding performance despite costing almost twice as much. The ZR1 and the Supra Turbo are competitors in the world of performance. For example, Car and Driver magazine in recent testing showed that the lateral G-force, the cornering or skid pad grip of the ZR1 was 0.88, where the Supra was 0.95 Gs. So there, the Supra actually defeated the ZR1 despite its incredible width and the huge steamroller tires.
It's clear that the new Supra Turbo is giving every sports car on the road a run for its money.
I think the new Supra will be a very strong competitor against all the world's sports cars, including the best from Europe in the BMW, Ferrari, Porsche categories even.
$111,000 for the Ferrari 348 TB. You could look at it that you could buy a Supra Turbo for yourself, your wife, and your child, all for the price of one Ferrari. In terms of actual on-road performance, the 348 is well balanced, it has good braking, it's one of the first Ferraris with ABS in fact, but it's not all that fast. In fact, in sheer acceleration, the Supra Turbo will beat the Ferrari.
And in Car and Driver's tests, it did just that, blowing away the Ferrari 348 TS in both the 0 to 60 and quarter-mile tests. Looks like the new Supra Turbo is going to send a lot of sports car manufacturers back to the drawing board. The 93 Supra Turbo, hot new contender in the premium sports car class. Toyota's image leader, providing performance plus prestige and functional technology that's not just along for the ride.
Everything you ask, the car will give it to you.
It's stylish, it's fast, it's comfortable.
This is one of the first Japanese cars that really could take a notch out of Ferrari's prestige, I think, because the performance is so good.
Supra Competitive Comparison video has been brought to you by Toyota Motor Sales USA.